Hey there, and welcome back to my Valhelsia Fabric world. This is episode 2 in a series exploring the brand new Valhelsia Fabric. We are going to follow along as they develop this new mod pack. It's 1.17 and does not have a whole lot of mods yet because there just aren't a lot of mods for 1.17. Not a lot of content mods anyway. There's a ton of quality of life mods and that sort of thing. The big mod in here is Tech Reborn, and we are actually going to get started in this episode. Before we get going on some stuff, let's just take a quick recap. First of all, in order to progress, I needed to just beef up my armor and tools, get some fortune, be able to break some diamond blocks I was saving. So we beefed up the enchanting. For that, I needed levels, so I built kind of a vanilla zombie spawner. I actually found 2 spawners. Brought them over here, which is a not vanilla thing you can do here, which is carry spawners around. So you can, just like we did with chests like this, shift right click with 2 empty hands. You can see me in the mirror there. You can pick things up. Spawners. I didn't want to do that. Spawners, chests, and other mobs, things like that. So this is a very vanilla spawner. What's not, again, so I was able to move the spawners, so that's cool. And this right here is a quartz elevator. So if I crouch on it, I go down to the elevator below, set another block, and jump to go up, crouch to go down. So nice, quick, easy way to get down here to our kill area. Okay, that's better. Yeah, so we've got a pretty cool XP farm, and these mirrors, let's talk about those for a second, which is an immersive portals mod. So if you take, I love this. If you take some glass and a flint and steel, you can just make mirrors. And you just hit the surface, and there you go. You can make a cube, and do all sides. Just really fun stuff. Speaking of portals, I had a portal out there on the island and hated it because immersive portals let you see live into the other dimension that they go to. So I moved it over here and kind of integrated it with my base. So this is kind of neat. This is an actual portal, and we go through and we're in the nether, and it's hard to even tell that it's a portal. I also added another one over here, which takes us over a few hundred blocks away to a swamp that's nearby. There we go. There's a witch's hut around here, so we'll be able to do some stuff with that. There's slime. Some of the other stuff we did was I moved a waystone rather, over here. I don't have it connected to any others right now. And we put down a hammock, which allows us to sleep the day away. And also that same mod called Comforts. So what the sleeping bag does is it lets you sleep. You put it down, puts you right in it, sleeps, you get up, it breaks it, puts it back in your inventory again. So that's a nice, easy, quick way to sleep when you're on the road. And it does not reset a spawn point. We looked at these harvest scythes. I upgraded my iron scythe to a diamond one, and it breaks 13 blocks total and replants. So let's hit right here. You can see it did that whole 13 block area. Let's take this opportunity to go feed the cows. And put that in there. And they will eat that and do their thing. I just did some research in science on the rubber trees and how they behave. So I planted this kind of grid of rubber trees that allows me to get their sap. We'll get to that in a second. But I also just did some experimenting to see what you could do to see what you could do with rubber. So I just put some down here to see if they'd grow sap. Some with leaves, some without leaves. Tall ones, short ones. I did some of these outside. Bottom line, you can't place rubber logs and end up with a rubber tree that produces sap. So you just have to plant them, let them grow. You can, however, take the leaves off and they still work. So there you go. Oh, I wanted to look at one more thing, which is if you throw a sapling of any kind through a portal, another portal, it turns it into a twisted sapling. There's a couple different things. I think we did one in the first episode with some planks and got twisted planks. Well, we can do it with a sapling too, and let's plant it. Just see what happens. Let's dig into Tech Reborn. First of all, let's just take a look at the advancements here. So you can make a book, which I'm not going to recommend because it basically just points you to the wiki. You need refined iron, which you get by smelting iron, which I've already done. I've got some of that over there in that chest. But first things first, you need a tap, a tree tap to get sap off a tree. You get sap, you smelt it into rubber to get rubber to make your copper cables, which you need a lot of for the various things, and batteries. So you create lots of batteries and put them together in a battery box, and that stores power. We'll do these things, but let's first make a tree tap. I think I need some slabs and sticks. No, logs and a stick. That's fine. Let's make a couple of these because they go fast. And we head out to our rubber trees and we just right click on the little bits of rubber. Pretty soon, hopefully, we will find some more automated ways to get the sap out of the trees. This is very haphazard, and the tree taps break quickly. There's also an electric tree tap, which works the same as this. It's still manual, except they don't break. You just have to charge them. Okay, two tree taps down, which was good for 40 saps. Okay, and we'll put these into our furnace and they will create some rubber. We have some rubber here. So with rubber and copper, we can make copper cables, insulated copper cables. You can also make uninsulated ones, which will shock you if you touch them and they have power in them. Okay, now we've got 50 insulated cables and some rubber. I've already made a battery box, but let's go ahead and make some another one. So to make a battery box takes 3 batteries and a cable. And to make a battery, we need lead and redstone. And we need to make 3 of those batteries. Oh, we need redstone. Okay, we should be able to make these now. 1, 2, 1. They don't stack either. 3 batteries, and now and they also don't get picked up automatically by REI, which is there. So we now have another battery box. Okay, now that we've got our battery box, which allows us to store power that will maybe buffer it if we use too much. Let's take a look at the batteries and also a few of the machines in Tech Reborn. So just planning ahead a little bit here, the initial machines are furnaces, alloy smelter, and grinder. And we already have a smelting system set up here, which is vanilla. Let's put a electric smelter, let's just put it here. And we'll leave this vanilla smelter all in one piece. And maybe we can, let's see if we can improve performance with some technology. That'd be sad if we can't. So we're gonna we'll put a smelter here, and alloys is another thing. So if we take a look at the furnaces, there's just an iron furnace, which is not powered. It's a furnace just like the the regular furnace. There's also an alloy furnace, which also doesn't take power. It just burns coal or whatever, and will combine two metals into an alloy, like bronze. So we won't. There's no sense making and playing with those. They do become they're the base machines for the initial electric furnace. Requires an iron furnace and an electric circuit. The electric circuit has some basic stuff. It's easy to make these things. So I won't go through the crafting. I've already made these things. And likewise, the alloy smelter is made with two electric furnaces and an iron alloy furnace and an electronic circuit. So there's some crafting that we need to go through to make these things. I've already made a few. So let's take my alloy smelter and my electric furnace, and let's place these here. So we're going to put the electric furnace right here, and that's going to feed into the chest with stuff that we cook with it. And we're going to put the alloy smelter down here, and that's also going to feed into this output chest. Now these things don't have any power yet, so we need to power them. So again, kind of planning ahead, we're going to power them through the wall. So let's just bust out here a little bit, and we can hide our cables. So now we've got our insulated copper cables. We need one here and we need one here. And we also have we need to put down our generator. We need to get to our generator, but hopefully not for very long. So let's put it out here. Our generator is right here. Now in Tech Reborn, a generator is a really simple machine. It's made with a furnace, a machine frame, and a battery. We've already looked at making batteries and machine frames. Machine frame is just 8 reinforced iron. It burns a burnable thing, coal, wood, and turns it into power. It's really low output. However, the generator gets used in these higher end generators. So we're going to need to make it anyway, but we can get started with it as our source of power. So we've got our generator. We're going to tuck it back here. Yeah, we'll hide it away. And we put some coal in it, and it starts to generate power. You can see it lit up, but it's already getting sucked into our furnace. And if we put another cable down here, it's powering our smelter. And as soon as it finishes filling these up, it's going to fill itself up with quite a bit more power. Now, the batteries come into play like this. If we put a battery down, facing you is a dot that is the output, and all the other sides are the input. So if we put, we had some leftover power. Oh, it's filling. It's filling up because I put it next to the generator. So generator is going to fill up the battery, and will also power these things as needed. And and if we connect the battery output to this kind of network here, then the battery is going to power these things, the generator is going to power these things, and the generator is going to power the battery. Likewise, if we can add another battery here. Let's stick another battery on top of the generator. So now we've kind of got a power network here of a couple of battery boxes that are going to both fill up from the generator as it creates power from burning the coal. Those things are powering our smelter and our furnace. So a furnace, let's start there, that's simple, is just regular old furnace. And for now we've got the slots turned off, and it should just hold on to what it makes. Likewise, if we put some, let's see, copper, 3 copper and 1 tin in the alloy smelter, you can see here we get bronze. is made in a smelter with 1 tin and 3 copper. You get 4 bronze. So if we put the 1 tin and 3 copper here, we're gonna get 4 bronze ingots. Neither of these are putting anything in the chest automatically. However, we can configure the slots. This is the input, this is the output, and we put auto output on the bottom. It's got auto output on, but we need to set the bottom to output. And now they went away. So now this furnace is always going to dump things. Oh, I can't open the chest. Let's do it this way. Let's make a hopper. Let's just get this done here. We're going to learn if we can push stuff into a hopper from the side. Okay, so now we can just feed that for a while. So that's going to push stuff into the hopper. The question is, will the smelter push stuff into the hopper from the side of the hopper, which is interesting. So we want to configure this. We want to configure the left side to be auto output, which means it pushes it to the side. And there we go. So now we've got a hopper taking in things from, and we are getting more stone. So that's working too. And of course, that hopper is pushing into that hopper, which will also come out in this chest. This is our major output chest. So now we can set up additional flows. So if we add another furnace to the top of this here, we can feed 2 different metals automatically into the smelter. So like if we put a furnace right here, that's powered, and configure it so that the bottom, the output automatically goes into the smelter. Now we can put copper in here and tin in this one. They won't. We need another furnace to automatically feed down here. So if we added another furnace right here that fed this alloy smelter, then we could have both inputs coming in. You can set up both of these inputs to get this input from the top, and this one can get it from the side, and in that way we would be able to feed the smelter from the top and from the right side with the different metals required. So maybe we'll get into that later once we care about these alloys that we're smelting here. The next thing we want to look at is the grinder, which is the same as a crusher in other mods like Mechanism. And if we put the grinder up here, gets its power, and it will grind a number of different things. Tech Reborn has all kinds of dusts, which are used in lots of different recipes and machines that you build. Basic solar panel requires coal dust, and you can also accomplish ore doubling with the grinder. It takes an iron ore, and automatically turns it into 2 raw ores, which would have been great in Minecraft 1.16, but now in 1.17, when you mine iron ore with a pickaxe, you get raw iron, and if you're using Fortune 3, you're going to get more than 2 per block on average. So doubling is not such a big deal in 1.17. However, there are certain things like bauxite and galena that don't mine into their raw ores, and they'll still benefit from doubling. Likewise, if we configure this to output down, as soon as it can, we need to configure this with an input on the top. There. Now it wasn't auto input, but since the one on top was auto input, it pushed it in. All we had to do was set it up as an input, and it took it. And it's going to cook those and drop them in this chest. So now we have a kind of a smelting system. If we put a chest on top of that, we could, and a chest on top of perhaps this furnace, we could put things we want to grind first into here, and things that we want to just go straight to a furnace in this side. This furnace isn't going to feed into the chest though, so we're going to have to reconfigure this a little bit. Finally, let's take a look at the solar panel. This was made, we crafted this with glass, coal dust, which you need the grinder for, a generator, and some electric circuits. So you do need a grinder before you can make the solar panel and start to get some power. Go up here and put this right here. It's obstructed from the sky. Okay, we cannot put it there. Let's put it right here. It's in direct sunlight over here. Then we just need to run our cable. Any side except for the dot on the battery is the output. Are our things just filling up? That's full. That's full. Everything is full. Why isn't our solar panel filling up? Is it getting sucked into the... Okay, it was... I think these cables have a buffer in them that we can't see. So I think if we leave it here... There it goes. Okay. The cables had to fill up first. So they have some sort of capacity to them, and since we put down 4, it actually has... It has a little bit of buffer in there. So now we've got solar power, a generator generating power, although we can't really get to it anymore. It's tucked in up there. We could probably break a way in through here if we really wanted to get to it. There it is. So if we needed to fill that up with more coal, we can come back here and do that. However, hopefully, that's just a backup, and solar will take care of us. All right, so there you have it. We have gone from 0 to ore doubling, power generation with solar, using the grinder furnace. We've got an alloy smelter, all in one episode. That is more than enough for one. We are going to dig into some of the additional machines in Tech Reborn. Next time, I think the metal press is in our immediate future because we're going to need metal plates to create a lot of the additional machines in Tech Reborn. If you like this video, please do subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.